Hey there. I've been talking a little bit about coaching and the difference between that and consultant. And sometimes it's pretty easy to figure out if you need a consultant. You are struggling with a business need. Usually, well, I guess not usually, but in my case, the first consultant I hired was a bookkeeper because I was trying to do it myself. When and that's made sense at the beginning, but it was one of the things that I absolutely hated and found very stressful, and it never felt like I got it. And so as soon as it made sense to bring someone on to take that off my plate, I found a a bookkeeper who does bookkeeping for businesses like mine, very small businesses. And so that was the first thing that I really have a consistent use for a consultant of. But coaching is a little different. Like, how do you know if you need a coach? Especially, I mean, for a long time, I viewed admitting that I needed a coach or help with something as a weakness. Although, that kind of doesn't make sense because at least in the corporate world, if I was struggling with someone, there was always some sort of person above me. Like when I was really young, there was the project manager, and then as I moved up to project manager, then there was the team leader. So there's always someone to like run things by and ask them. But something kind of happens when you start your own business, I think, and like you're just supposed to know, and or it seems like you should be able to figure all of these things out. And that's just ridiculous because you aren't going to learn all of the accounting or all of the legal or all of the other things that you would have other people help you with the detailed or technical sides of a business. And yet we think that somehow for mental things, we're just supposed to be able to figure it out because it's in our brains and surely we can figure this out. So usually I come to the conclusion that I need a coach when I'm struggling to get something done that I know I need to get done or that I really want to get done, but I'm having a hard time figuring it out on my own. And so I used them early when I was just figuring out, like, I used one coach really to figure out how to actually launch my business, just to get it out the door. Like, what was the bare minimum that I needed? Because I was spinning my wheels a lot, trying to do all of the things, which you don't need to do all of the things, but you think you need to do all of the things. And then I worked with someone on some marketing stuff because while I was comfortable helping other people with their marketing strategies, it was hard for me to market myself because it's just one of those things that's kind of hard to do. And I didn't really use coaches for a while. Well, that's not true. I'll go back to that in a second. And then most recently, I started working with a coach when I knew that there was a shift that I wanted to make in my business. But again, I was spinning my wheels. So that to me, that's the cue for me, is that I'm stuck on something that I want to get out of. I know what I'm doing is not helping, but I really need that other perspective. So that's when I usually reach out to a coach to help me through those kind of small problems. And in that case, I've used 3 different coaches. But moving forward, I'll probably keep going back to the same coach when I have a particular issue. We have a really good relationship and I enjoy working with her. But the point is that it is not an ongoing thing. I had a specific problem, we worked through it, and then that was done. And then when I have another problem, because inevitably there's always going to be something that comes up that you need some help with, another block, then I can reach back out to her again, and it will be a very targeted approach. But what I wanted to get back to is that it's not exactly true that I didn't use any mentors or coaches in between then, but I did pay for them, because there's this organization. It's called SCORE, www.score.org. It is somehow associated with the Small Business Association. It's like a division or something. And through there, they have mentors that you can sign up with to meet. I met mine at a local library, and I just went with a bunch of questions. And so if you think you need some coaching or mentoring, but you're either not ready to commit to it, or you're not quite sure, or you financially can't do it right now, that doesn't mean you're stuck. I mean, there are options like this through volunteers, and these, I was very impressed with what I got, and I still get emails, because I'm on the email list for the organization. It's really helpful stuff. They have various seminars, so that's one option if you're looking for something or to get a little bit more information to see if you can maybe get unstuck yourself. And even with the other issues I was having, I know eventually I would have worked through it. And so then the balance is, do I want to spend the time to work through it on my own, or do I want to spend the dollars on a coach to get it done faster? So I view that as an investment in myself and my business, like, so I can get this done faster and move on. Sometimes there is value in kind of struggling and figuring things out, and sometimes there's not. And ultimately, that's going to be a judgment call that you have to make. I've kind of developed over my business this kind of sense of when I need the help and when I need to like struggle through it. But again, that my metrics aren't going to be anybody else's. So what I would like to say is, do you need a coach? Maybe, but you don't always need a coach. And there are resources out there if you're not quite ready to commit to a coach. Again, SCORE is a great organization. A lot of coaches have free resources available. Most people are very generous with their content and their techniques. And then if you need the one-on-one, there's usually a way to sign up for that. But there's a lot of stuff available if you have the time to commit to figuring it out. And there's a lot of value in that and figuring it out on your own. But then there's also value in getting past it and moving on. So only you can make that decision. But if you're feeling like you need to have a coach, there's nothing that you really need. You just other than the confidence to just invest in yourself, whether it's with time or money, and to start building what you want to build. Anyway, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Thanks.